Hello, my name is Andrew McFarlane. Welcome to StartAJuiceBar.com, your trusted resource for all things juice bar oriented. And today I want to talk to you about bar business plan. Um, do you need one? Yes, you need a business plan. Even if you have your own money and you are not raising money, your business plan is in essence your map. I highly recommend having a business plan. And it's quite funny because I feel like a lot of people who've started businesses, it's known that you're not going to execute everything that you have in your business plan. You might not even execute 80% of it, but it's important to do so that you have a map. It's important to have a plan, a strategy. When you leave your house, you normally don't leave your house without knowing where you're going. Because it just really helps. And yes, along the way, while you're heading, you might hit traffic, you might take a different route. That's okay, but it's important to know where you're going before you leave the house. And in this case, it's important to know what you're doing before you start spending money. So we're just going to start, and I'll try to make this as efficient as possible because business plans, I can probably talk about business plans for 10 hours straight. There's a lot that can go into a business plan. In general, I see business plans. Sometimes people will send me business plans that they have a lot of information in there that's not necessary. Things that are a given, that are obvious. Yes, we're going to have a unique product. Yes, and those things are important to say, but I would just recommend that if you're going to make a statement that yes, we're going to have a unique product and we're going to be the leader in our industry, explain why. Share the details of what makes your product unique outside of just saying that you have a unique product. So we'll just start at the top here. Most business plans start with a mission statement. We won't spend too much time on this, but I'll just comment on why a mission statement's important. It helps contextualize why you're doing what you're doing, and I'll kind of get back to that when we talk about company culture, or I'll talk about that right now. So the culture of a company is what I would even almost refer to as your internal marketing. How you hire people, who you hire, how do you maintain the morale, how do you resolve conflict? These are all parts of what creates a company culture. Now, your mission statement is in some ways a part of that as a company, what you do internally, what's your effect on the world, which is you overall as a business. It's kind of like if you think about your life, like who are you, what is your purpose on the planet, and what does that mean for your life, and what does that mean for the world. So your mission statement's a part of that, and it doesn't have to be very long. Most of the time mission statements are not very long. I always like things to be pretty concise and clear. So that's the first thing that you probably want to start with your business plan. Second thing you want to look at is your menu. Not just your names and not just your recipes, but the costing of your menu. How much does each ingredient cost? What are your margins? What are you going to eventually charge for those items? Because you want to make sure that you have a healthy margin within your drinks and that you're not losing money, that you're actually making money. That's the point. And in general, in the restaurant industry, food service industry, you don't want to be over 30%. Normally I like people to shoot for more like 20% in terms of their actual cost. So if you're charging $10 for something, it costs you $2, that's 20%. And it's not going to be across the board 20%, but it's just a goal to have. And you're going to have some items that are 25%, some that are even less than 20%, some that are maybe even closer to 30%. But just in general, having that target is important because you can design your recipes so that they taste good, they're interesting, they're unique, but they're also cost effective for you. And I'll probably at some point soon do a whole video on menu creation because the menu creation is quite the art form in terms of having a really effective menu, a unique menu, and a menu that runs efficiently. From there, I would look at doing a budget. So that means everything. Anything that you can think of between how much you want to have in reserve capital once your location is open. They usually will say 6 months to a year in this industry to have working capital in the event that you didn't make any money. That might be kind of excessive. You might not have the capacity to do that, and you might be in a situation where you can save costs otherwise. But having a budget, so equipment budget, your marketing budget, website, logo, uniforms, produce, initial inventory, equipment, everything that you can think of, you want to put on that budget. especially if you're raising money too, because if anybody's going to invest, they want to know where the money's going. Have you really thought about everything? They don't want to see that later on. And also for you, you don't want to see later on that something comes up that you hadn't thought of, that you didn't put in the budget, and now you don't have enough money to finance your endeavor. A little caveat: there are Juice Bar business plan templates, or not specifically Juice Bar business plan. I haven't seen that. I might actually create one of those, but there are business plan templates that you can purchase or maybe even find for free online that you can just fill in the blanks. It'll give you an idea of the categories of things that you want to find out that are very similar to kind of what I'm presenting right here, that are just great things to think about, good things to get clear on. Specifically, I'll go back to the menu really quick. Part of that in the menu, I would also add, vendors. Have a list of vendors. Know where you're sourcing your ingredients from. So that way beforehand, you're not spending a lot of time, where you're going to get these things, so that after the fact, you're not spending a lot of time searching for vendors, finding your prices, all these things. It's important to have a vendor list and have a contact form. The more details, the better in this business, and all businesses in general, because things work on systems. The more systematic and detailed your processes are, the more successful you'll be. So we'll keep moving on. After your budget, you have your customer profile. So customer profile is also known as target demographic. Who's your ideal person? What is the psychology of this person? What kind of habits they have? What is their income? Where do they live? Because when you're choosing next a location, you want to make sure that you're in that right area, but it's also going to contribute to your marketing, which is the next thing. So this is known as your customer profile. I'll just give you a little information from my knowledge. Is right now the target demographic for people who drink juice is primarily women between the ages of 18 to 20 to 35. So let's say 18 to 35. That's really the not to say you're not going to have people outside of that. You're going to really have everybody from all walks of life, but your target, probably 70-80% of your customers are going to fit within that demographic. So that teaches you a lot about what you can do to market. Maybe so many things that you can do to support that target demographic. So moving on now, looking at marketing strategies. What platforms are you going to market on? How are you going to market internally, externally? So when I refer to internal marketing, I really talk about the overall. I'm talking about the overall customer experience. That's your most powerful form of marketing. Because you can say whatever you want to the external world from a business person standpoint, or even from through social media. We have the best juices ever. We do X, Y, and Z. But that's what businesses do. It's not unique, and there's no validity in that until someone has an experience. Then it's valid. So when somebody walks in the door and they leave and tell their friends, "Wow, that it was the best juice I ever had. That was the most amazing smoothie. You got to check them out." That's going to hold more weight. So really making sure that internally your staff is prepared and excited to communicate about what you guys do in a way that is informed, that is passionate. All of these things to me are part of your internal marketing, marketing and branding. So, what the staff wear, how they present themselves, what is part of that, what we even went back to before, what is the company culture? That's part of your internal marketing. And externally, what are your strategies? How are you going to connect? Are there strategic partnerships you're going to create through different yoga studios or gyms that you're going to offer their clientele a discount, or cleanse packages? Or are you going to end up even having juice inside of their space? Well, all of those things to really think about, so you can pinpoint them and budget for them before you even open your business. Okay, so then now we're at location. If you have a location, then put that information in there. Square footage, if you have anything that is in response to your location, put it in there. If you don't have a location, map out your ideal location. We're looking in these areas. Here's why. Here's the square footage that we want. Here's the price per square foot that we want to pay. Anything about your location that you want to have, put it in there. And I'll probably do another video, and I've commented on in previous videos about location, what makes a good location, and we won't go into that right now. But let's just say, really break down your location, the attributes, if you have a specific one, or if you're looking at one, what the context. So that way you at least know that when something fits, if it's too large, you can outrule it. If it's too small, you outrule it. And if it's in there, then you can consider it, and why as well. Then we have your performa, also known as financial projection. This is basically how much money do you guys plan to make? What are your margins? What are your expenses? Everything is based on, and performas are really interesting just in a practical sense from someone who, when you run a business and you look at performas, most of the time performers are overly inflated, or maybe they just seem that way. But just make sure that you put that together so that you can know what's your bottom line going to be at the end of the year. What do you project? Or you can even look at it as even goals, but don't make it lofty to where it seems like it's not practical. And these are things that when I talk to people, this is things I support them with, so they can have realistic expectations based on the density of population in their area. Does it seem, what's the driving traffic? What's the foot traffic? What's the, going to even looking at your customer profile? What's the median income? Are they going to spend that much money? What's the average ticket price going to be? All these things are going to create your financial projections, and this will give you an outline, a rough outline of where you're going to be at the end of the year in terms of your gross profit and your net profit. And I'll define those really quick if you don't know what those are. Your gross profit is basically all the money that you pull in. Your net profit is all the money you have left after you've covered your expenses. So there's that. And then lastly, I would say timeline. Having a timeline is going to be, once again, part of your goal, but also to keep you on track. How long is it going to take you to accomplish certain things, whether it's even raising money or finding a location, building out your location, training your staff, and opening. You may not achieve it, but once again, it's part of just having clarity around goals. And this is all a practice to be in, because you're going to be doing this from now until your business is complete. Whether you sell it or you close it one day, who knows? But the point is to be in the practice of having goals, having clear projections, clear expectations of yourself and of your company. This is just a way to really be in proper leadership for the growth of your business. So I'll leave it at that for now. And as always, this is Andrew McFarland wishing you well. And if you want to reach out, there's a contact form on our website, StartAJuiceBar.com. If you have the opportunity, comment below, like, subscribe, and wishing you well. And I'll see you guys soon.